maybe the other thing to mention regarding Jensen are his comments, Jim, about Blackwell again. The scaling wall, more confidence, which we also got out of Nadella as well. Talked about maybe the concerns we had in the back half of last year aren't as warranted as we thought.
Look, I mean, over and over again, both Colette Kress, the CFO, and Jensen Huang were talking about how, look, we're shipping in size. We're shipping in size. The big negative had been they were not shipping in size. Now, people wanted them to guide up, and that was not the nature of the CES conference. Some of the analysts just goaded. My friend Ben Reiches did compare Tony Danza moment he does. But Ben
I saw that. They said they worked out together.
Yeah, they worked out. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. But Ben Wright just asked this question, which just says, all right, really? I mean, is it longer term? And all you keep hearing about when it's longer term is trillions, not billions, but trillions. Now, can this stock hold up? It had one of the most vicious reversals, which told me that the 0.30 guys, you know, the guys who are gambling, and they should go. By the way, we saw from Flutter and DraftKings that the house is losing.
Yes.
Just go beat them on DraftKings. Stop it with the actual companies, because you don't know anything.
Bespoke with a great stat. Yesterday was the 6th time in a year where Nvidia hit an all-time high intraday and then closed down 4%.
Well, I mean, it's what Nvidia does, because the people who own Nvidia, it's like the guy who introduced Nvidia on CES stage, call it Nvidia, which I continue to remind people is a hand cream that's from Procter & Gamble. And by the way, it's so cold, you should use it.
That's Nivea.
Well, I know, but they throw in a D.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Well, it's because they don't even know how to pronounce it.
I mean, they used to use that when I was very
No, that's not the point.
Nivea.
The point is the lack of knowledge of what this company does.
It's the most covered company in the world.
Okay, some of the analysts are good, but some of the analysts are just talking about the quarter. And these are people who are bound by the four walls of idiocy. This is one of the greatest companies in the world. These people want to buy, sell. They don't recognize that NVIDIA is doing things that are just running circles around. And in an AV, remember, you need three. You need a simulation, you need a trainer, and you need the actual.
All true. All true.
And Toyota is going to be, I think, one of the top
so
5 customers.
You seem to believe that the growth path ahead for NVIDIA is equal to what we've seen. I mean,
Industrial revolution over and over and over again. Why can't we believe? Do you remember? Did you read that book about John Garfield, where they talked about the telephone? And Alexander Graham Bell tries to get it into the Centennial in Philadelphia, and only because the Brazilian guy is there does he get to represent it. And Alexander Graham Bell says, you know what, this could revolutionize all of how we do things. And the American judges were like, who is this clown?
That's what they said about Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is questioning whether
Jensen take on valuation at the time.
Well, I mean, so selling it 100 times, rule of 40.
As I recall, that stock got way ahead of itself for a period of time. And then it had a typical head and shoulders, and it was a short.
David understands. Now, Alexander Graham, by the way, where was Edison from? Ba-dum-bum. I find over and over again that when you have the Industrial Revolutions, no one really believes in them. And here's Jensen Huang. The other day, someone said to me, I see you like Jensen Huang because you guys both were dishwashers. And I said, I was busboy. I mean, the kinds of things I see with people at NVIDIA. How's your dog doing? My dog died 3 years ago. Should I sell the stock? Heaven forbid they listen to Colette Kress, who is not going to.
One name continues to dominate headlines in the rapidly evolving fields of artificial intelligence and cutting-edge graphics, enthralling both tech enthusiasts and investors. Nvidia has once again captivated Wall Street with its groundbreaking announcements at SEI 2025, showcasing the AI supercomputer Project Digits and the next-generation Blackwell GeForce RTX 550 series. CEO Jensen Huang and CFO Colette Kress took center stage, outlining the company's bold moves forward and painting an ambitious vision of AI that left analysts and investors eagerly clamoring for more information, from Harlan Sur's optimism to Hans Moses Mann's bullish perspective. Recent actions by Nvidia suggest that there is something far deeper at work beneath the surface of innovation and advancement. So, what implications does this have for Nvidia's stock? Let's explore that. But first, a big thank you to those of you who've stuck with us this far. Creating these videos takes significant effort and dedication, so if you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts on Nvidia stock in the comments. Your support truly helps us grow. Now, let's get back to the video.
Nvidia actually rebounding slightly this morning after sliding more than 6% yesterday. By the way, what he said about quantum computing managed to take out a lot of those quantum computing stocks, some of the smaller ones like IonQ, Quantum Computing, Rigetti. Joining us right now for more on all of this is Joseph Moore. He's Morgan Stanley semiconductor analyst. And Joe, I just want to get your take on this. I've been reading a lot of stuff. I mean, after Jensen Huang made his comments the night before last, we actually saw shares a little higher in the morning, maybe not by a lot, but it certainly wasn't giving back the pullback that we saw later in the day. There were a lot of the tech stocks and other big high flyers that pulled back, though, after we got stronger than expected jobs numbers, just in terms of what the BLS had in terms of jobs openings, those JOLTS numbers. That had people suspecting that maybe the Fed is going to be more reluctant to cut rates anytime soon, and that caused all of these big high flyers to pull back. So do you think the pullback in Nvidia shares yesterday was more related to what Jensen Huang did or didn't say, or just more related to the overall idea of watching the Federal Reserve and seeing how the economy is doing?
I mean, I think both of those play a role. I think there were also very high expectations around the keynote at CES. And, you know, CES is a trade show oriented around consumer and automotive. And there were some really important developments that came out of the keynote around those markets. But data center is 85% of the revenue. And I think, you know, there may have been expectations that people wanted to hear more about that. So I think you have some of those issues. But, you know, overall, this is still a company in a very strong product cycle. And data center wasn't the focus here. It's investor focused, but, you know, it's still very strong. So I think it's a combination of some of the market issues that you talked about, as well as maybe some expectations issues around the trade show. But
experienced Wall Street analysts were regaining their faith in Nvidia, the tech behemoth renowned for its deep learning innovations, and powerful GPUs did not let him down. In addition to reiterating a buy position, Hans Moses Mann from Rosenblatt did so with a price target of $220, highlighting optimistic predictions for Nvidia's future. Jensen Huang's keynote was an electrifying affair, depicting a world in which AI progresses from simple problem-solving to complex agentic AI tasks, each requiring extensive support systems and massive engineering innovations. Notably, GPU-driven deep learning is gaining traction among hyperscale customers, a fact that JP Morgan's Harlan Sur believes will maintain a high demand for Nvidia's data center segment. To stay informed about the latest developments from Nvidia and the ever-changing stock market, consider subscribing to our investing tutorial channel. We provide daily updates on significant market shifts and key catalysts, so hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss crucial information. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Nvidia stock, so please share your opinions in the comments below. Now, let's dive into today's video.
Could he say, in terms of the data center, that the street would really like to hear? I know that the revenue is expected for the year, the fiscal year that ends this month, to come in at $113 billion, ramping all the way up to north of $200 billion by the fiscal year that ends in January of 2027. What do people want to hear on that front?
Well, you know, expectations are high. I think we're 2 months into the Blackwell cycle, the new products that they just started shipping. So I think to think that we were going to get any color on, you know, GB300 or incremental Blackwell products was probably just not going to happen. This wasn't the forum for that anyway. And I think so from a product standpoint, I think we know everything that we need to know. From a revenue standpoint, you're facing a little bit of a transition here, that you have Blackwell demand is very good. And you've heard these comments from Jensen in the past on CNBC talking about, the level of Blackwell demand being insane. And he didn't really repeat those comments. But I think the issue that you're dealing with is Blackwell demand is really strong, but it's supply constrained. And Hopper, the sort of legacy product, still is the largest portion of that data center business. And so I think we'll still have a couple quarters here where there's meaningful upside, but I think the real upside is kind of into the back half of the year when you start getting that kind of full-blown Blackwell ramp. So I think, people would like to hear that, and I think they did hear that in some sense, but I think, they're trying to avoid those kind of really strong statements about Blackwell because it's not the main driver of the quarter. I think that's the combination of Blackwell and Hopper. So still quite optimistic about how this plays out, but I certainly see the upside being stronger in the second half of the year.
I mean, I guess the question is, with the stock that has done so well, tripled in value last year, how much of this is priced in, how much isn't? Where are you telling people? What's a price target that makes you feel comfortable? Yeah. What's a price arena?
Yeah, well, at some point, this is less about the sort of phenomenon that this stock has been and a little bit more on valuing a growth company on its growth prospects, right? And the stock trades at about 29 times our estimate for calendar 26. That would be high if there were any kind of deceleration in the business. But I don't think there is, even when we sort of go through these transitional challenges, if you will. Challenges, maybe overstating it. As you move through these transitional issues, you're still beating and raising. Those numbers are still quite likely to be moving higher. So I still think the stock is reasonably valued with good growth prospects this year and beyond. And again, the data points that support that are the strength in the Blackwell demand, and I think it's going to take a while for.
With AI rapidly changing industries, it's difficult not to see Nvidia's stock as a strong investment that can take advantage of both emerging technologies and unstoppable market trends. This is in line with the company's journey as seen through the eyes of its visionary executives and enthusiastic analysts. Their position as a leader in innovation is further cemented by their continuously excellent performance in a variety of industries, including gaming and enterprise AI. The stock's outstanding outlook and present momentum indicate a promising upward trajectory. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.
So much attention on CES, and the halo effect has almost been as powerful as the Nvidia effect on itself. Commentary about Toyota, commentary about Samsung, all coming out of Jensen this week.
Yeah, certainly. So, I mean, partly it's what we've seen in semiconductors over the last year, 2 years, right? Nvidia and AI have been moving the entirety of the market. And they've been pulling names that either are also involved in AI, like Marvell and Broadcom, or names that supply NVIDIA, like Samsung, alongside them. So it's been what we've been seeing, or it's a continuation of what we've been seeing, I think.
We talk a lot about market concentration. The same dynamic exists within semis itself. You got the sector at an all-time high, but only 1 in 5, I think, above the 200-day. Do you expect there'll be a broadening within semis too?
Yeah, I think the problem is that you have a very robust spending environment for data center AI, and then at the same time, we have a not so robust spending environment for almost everything else. So whether it's consumer electronics, industrial applications, enterprise spend, they're all kind of lagging. And I think what's not helping that portion of the market is there's a whole lot of uncertainty around what we get with the new administration. So do you see tariffs that force shift in manufacturing? And because of that uncertainty, it's hard for companies to plan. And so I don't see things changing right now. I think AI continues to do well, and everyone else kind of tries to figure out what's going on with.
What do you think of Nvidia's actions? Lastly, if you want to know what corporations like Nvidia have been up to lately, click on the next video on your screen. I hope to see you there. Are they guiding their ship for long-term success, or do they attract more competitors by setting ambitious expectations?